Loving you ain't easy, nothing ever is, but I will keep.
I think what differentiates me from the rest of the band is I'm the youngest, so everyone kind of looks after me a little bit.
Even when times get tough.
I'm kind of a hybrid between a Colorado kid and a California kid. Growing up in Colorado was always really busy. My mom made sure that we would always be doing something. Hockey was basically just kind of put on to me. And I loved it, because my older brothers played it, my dad played it, everybody played it, so I was always wanted to be a part of it. Even before I could walk, I could skate pretty much. One time I was playing goalie, and the defenseman was coming in really, really fast, and the forward passed him, so he cross-checked him, and then his skate came around and sliced the middle of my forehead. There was blood on the ice. I didn't feel any pain, but everyone was freaking out a little bit. 20 minutes later, I had another game, and I went out and played, like a hockey player should, right?
When times get tough, I don't want no easy love.
Flying, to me, is very therapeutic for a lifestyle like mine. My dad had always been a pilot. I just sort of grew up around it, and always being in planes, going to air shows, things like that. You can go anywhere in 30 minutes. I could get from here to San Francisco in about 2 hours. It's also the closest thing to freedom I think you can get.
It's easy, and baby, you got me singing.
The feeling I get when performing on stage is kind of indescribable. The best shows are when I get lost in just the music and what I'm actually saying in the songs, and when the music can just kind of take you and make you feel things that you wouldn't otherwise feel. We had this show in London at this really kind of a hole-in-the-wall place, but it was packed full of people, just wall to wall. Our music was so loud and everybody was losing their minds, and at the end of the show I went like crowd surfing. It just reminded me of like rock and roll. You know, it just felt right.
Even when times get tough. The remix, you were the sunshine, I was a rain check, you needed time.
Rocky is actually my real name, and Riker named me after the Colorado Rockies, which is a baseball team.
You turn my whole
I started playing guitar when I was 12. My mom would take us to like this little performing arts center, and I never wanted to go, ever. And then one day, when we moved out to California, I just decided to pick up a guitar.
found us.
I started writing songs like, kind of when I started learning guitar. I just started trying to make up little riffs and little melodies here and there.
Found us. Things are looking up.
Like, I'm not really into the whole like fame and things like that. I like doing the work and in creating music. I've always just kind of liked more of the behind the scene type stuff, like, you know, writing songs, producing, designing like our show.
I couldn't find the star.
Most of our early shows were actually just kind of loud noises. We played like a little tiny gig in, I think it was LA, and the stage was like 6 inches off the floor. Like, it wasn't even a stage, and there was probably 10, 15 people there. And we were, you know, jamming out hard, and so I jumped off, you know, the 6-inch stage, and when I did it, I hit my head on the front of my guitar, and then slowly I could feel like the blood kind of coming down my face, and so now I have like a little Harry Potter scar there. It's faded, but it's there.
The ground, I couldn't find the star.
Best part about the beach is just the water, the sand, playing football, volleyball, just kind of getting out and just being outside, because we're always inside, you know, in the studio or on a tour bus, just not seeing the sun, so it's always nice to come back to LA.
Even when I'm down.
I'm the oldest, so I'm kind of the captain of the ship, as they say. I kind of make sure everybody's in line. I think it just kind of happened naturally. When we were little, I could get all of them to follow me around and perform NSYNC songs in the basement. I've been performing and singing and dancing since I was like 3. Ever since we were little, everything has been done as a family. So when we were out in California, that is kind of where the actual music started. Right before we moved, we went to like my first official rock band concert. My dad took me and Rocky to see OAR at Red Rocks in Colorado. Coolest amphitheater ever. I think that kind of sparked something in our brains that was like, the band thing was just bound to happen after that concert. It was in our blood, really. I love surfing. I love just sports in general, so volleyball, football, anything really. The beach is an awesome place to just kind of get out and get some fresh air and kind of just stare off into the sunset and stare into the ocean for a little bit. Get your mind off things, but also find some clarity to come up with, you know, new creative ideas and stuff like that. I think us being out in California has really subtly influenced a lot of our music. All of our songs have a beachy, summery vibe. I'm probably the biggest on Twitter. I just like interacting with the fans and trying to give back as much as possible because they give so much love and so much support and so much passion. For me to be able to reach out to so many different people around the world is a simple like thanks, it goes a long way. I am optimistic and ambitious. I'm all about having fun and working hard, and I love what I do more than anything, and being up there on the stage is the coolest thing in the world.
I got the name Ellington because my parents are performers, and they met in a show on Broadway called Sophisticated Ladies. It's a review of Duke Ellington's music. They were like, it's obvious, boy or girl, we're gonna name our kid Ellington. And I like it. Everywhere I go, everyone's like, oh, your name's Ellington? Oh, that's pretty cool.
You were a diamond.
Becoming a drummer was very natural. I just would walk into the music shop and gravitate naturally towards the drum set. And then after showing my grandma one day, she was like, you need drum lessons. After that, I just loved it. As a drummer of R5, I consider myself the backbone. I mean, I'm the beat, I'm the rhythm. Without me, they'd be lost. I'm just keeping up the course. I grew up listening to a lot of Motown and doo-wop and classic rock from the 60s and 70s. Artists like Ray Charles, Joe Cocker was a big one. I really got into gospel drummers. Their technique is just awesome because they just play every day in the church. So I'm trying to take all these different influences and put them into pop music. Me and the Lynches met at a performing arts studio about 6 years ago. After about a year of knowing them, they texted me saying, hey, you play drums, right? And I was like, yeah, I do. I think they even came to one of my school band shows. I crowd surfed and they thought that was really cool. So, they're like, he's in. I'm an only child. So getting into this large family atmosphere was definitely a shock for me at first. There's something about the whole big family mentality that's just really fun and positive to be around. So I'm thankful for it. Best live show I've seen was Arcade Fire at Coachella. It was the first time I had one of those weird, too excited experiences. They pulled out all the stops, and I just felt something I never felt before, and I was like, that's what I need to portray in the shows that we put on. I want all of our fans to be feeling what I felt on that show every night.
Things are looking up.
Lazy to get dressed. Yeah, I love the way you look.
I think I'm different from the rest of the band. Obviously, I'm a girl, and I'm a lot more organized than the boys. I like to be very on time. I like to have my list, and I like to get it done and have everything right in line.
You love me like that. I'm a prima donna. Somehow you.
I got the name Rydell from the movie Grease. The high school in that movie is called Rydell High, and my mom was obsessed with that movie. She loves musicals in general. And after she named Riker, I guess she just wanted to continue with the R's, so then she was like, Rydell, and here I am.
Love the way you love me.
I love all styles of dance. Tap was a big one growing up, and I love jazz also. I never really wanted to be like a professional ballerina or anything like that, but it was definitely a lot of fun at the time. I started teaching dance when I was 14. I was going to a school called The Rage, and whenever they needed a substitute teacher, they were like, Rydell, can you come do this? I was like, yes. It was really cool to be able to do that.
I love the way you love me because you love me like that. I love the way you.
I play a lot of sports with the boys, volleyball, softball. I like to pretend I'm a really good surfer, like in a movie, like, oh my gosh, yes, about to catch this huge wave, and it's like the white water, just like, whoop. But I can at least ride it and stand up, which is cool. I just feel free while I'm surfing, so I like to have that mindset.
Way you love me.
All of us are really involved with the creativeness of the band. I like editing. Riker actually started editing the videos first, 6 years ago when we were making our own videos in front of our driveway. And I watched Riker do it, and I was like, I think I could do it better. And then I got the program, iMovie. I learned how to do it, and then I upgraded to Final Cut from there. So now I'm, I don't know, a pro at video editing.